All right. In today's tips and tricks video, we're going to talk about how to use an add-on in Google Forms called Form Ranger. And the reason we're going to do this is because when we try to create a form with a drop-down menu, we don't want to have to populate each one of these possible answers one at a time. It would be so much easier if we were able to import a list from somewhere else. For example, what if the question was, um, which elementary school do you work at? All right. So at San Diego Unified, we have a lot of schools. And so we'd be typing out for quite a long time, all of that. Wouldn't it be great? We could go to one of our spreadsheets, like this one right here called San Diego Unified School District schools. And we have a list of all of our elementary schools in the district. And it looks like right now we have 123, according to the staff portal where I got all of these school names from. And wouldn't it be great if we could import that into our drop-down question here? And if you look around, there's no way for that to actually happen with Google Forms as it now sits. You actually have to get an add-on that allows you to do that. And the add-on is called Form Ranger. And so Form Ranger is simply an add-on that will automatically populate Google Form options like drop-down menu from a Google Sheet. That's exactly what we're going to do. And anytime you put an add-on onto like Google Forms or Sheets, it's a third-party company that's created some software to make, in this case, Google Forms do something that wasn't naturally made to do. And you have to be careful when you go to get these add-ons, you got to make sure that they're safe. And so what I did is I typed in is Form Ranger a safe add-on. And sure enough, it's already passed an independent security assessment. And we're going to see just how popular this Form Ranger is right now. So how do you get an add-on? So here we have a practice form that I have set up. And if you just click on the ellipses up here at the right, you can go down to where it says Get Add-ons. And so I'm just going to type in up here, um, Form Ranger. And when I do that, it's going to give us all the different ones that it thinks that we want. In this case, we want Form Ranger right here. And look at this, 3.6 stars, 56 million people have actually added this add-on to Google Forms. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to click on it. It's going to give us a little bit more information. There's a 56 million. If you want to look at an overview of what it can do and all of that, we're going to do a demonstration of it, so we'll skip all of that. But there's a bunch more information there. And so if I want to install it, all I have to do is click install and follow a couple of other little screens or whatever, and then I will end up having it as one of my add-ons in Google Forms. So here I am in our little sample we're going to do here. Drop-down list of schools using Form Ranger. This is an example of a drop-down list imported from a Google Sheet using the add-on Form Ranger. And so I have this first question here. Which elementary school do you work at? Looks like I got an extra space in there. Let's go back. All right. So which elementary school do you work at? Just copy that for later. All right. So I'm going to go to the add-ons here. And there's Form Ranger. I've already loaded it into my add-ons. I'm going to open it up and I click Start. And the first thing I notice is it gives us a little dialog box over here in the corner, and I can't grab this and move it around. So wasn't too happy about that, but that's okay. Give it a second to load up. So here we have a question list. And since I've already done one question so far, it says right here, which elementary school do you work at? And so all I have to do to get started with this is say populate from a range. And then it's going to go find a spreadsheet that we might want to use. So give it a second. And we'll click on new range right here. And so now it's going to go look for all the different spreadsheets that I have out there. And it's going to try and find the one I'm interested in. Of course, I could always search for that. But this is the one I actually have right here. San Diego Unified School District Schools, 2024 to 2025. All right, so I can click there once and then click down here. But I always remind people that you can right click, left click, double click, triple click, different things happen. So we'll just double click on this to select it. And so we see that the sheet name is K-12 and that there's some column headers, different options that are here. And if we go back to the spreadsheet just to take a look, sure enough, I've got column B, elementary schools, column D, middle schools, and column F, high schools. And it's all in this one worksheet called K-12 schools in my San Diego Unified School District Schools 2024 and 2025. So if I go back to here, it says to add a range. Sure enough, that's the sheet name. And of course, I want elementary for this first one. So I can just select that and say next. All right, and then it's going to allow me to do a range name. Not quite sure exactly what this is about, but I'll just say current elementary schools. That sounds good. And then say save and populate. And voila, all of a sudden we have which elementary school do you work at? It's got all of them, whatever it is, 100 and something of them, all there, and I didn't have to type it out because I had it already available on a spreadsheet somewhere. So that's pretty cool. So there's the first one that I have, back up to the top. And so now I want to do another question, which middle school do you work at? And so I'm just going to go up here to add a question and change it from multiple choice to drop down. And of course, let's see, Control V. I'll just go back here and switch that to middle. All right, which middle school do you work at? But if I look over here in Form Ranger, my question list, it just says which elementary school do you work at? I don't see anything else. But I look down here and it says update question list. And sure enough, if I click on that, give it a couple of seconds, now it's going to give us another option here. Which middle school do you work at? And so now we're going to populate range. And it's going through this whole process all over again. So it's going to say, okay, we'll go find a spreadsheet somewhere. And then you got to figure out which worksheet you want to use. We actually want to use the exact same one. So I'm just going to double click on this one to select it. And then, of course, the name of the worksheet is K-12 schools, but then we have the 3 different columns there. And this time we want the middle school. So we'll select that one and then click next. And it wants us to do a range name for some reason. I'll just say middle. All right, save and populate. And now all of the middle schools that I have on this spreadsheet right here, beginning with Audubon all the way down to, looks like Wilson, all the way at the very end, are automatically going to populate into this particular question. That's pretty cool, and we didn't have to type it all out. Alrighty, so since we have the blue line right here, and we're working on this middle school question, let's go ahead and add another one, our final one, and we're going to make it, and by the way, this works for multiple choice and check boxes and all of the other ones as well. So Form Ranger works with all of those, but right now we're interested in drop downs. And so I'm just simply going to Control V. Let's try that again. Control V, and I'll just switch it to high school. Go. Which high school do you work at? And again, we look over here, we still have elementary school, we have high school. We need this third question here, so we simply have to click on Update Question List. Give it a couple of seconds. All right. So if we scroll down here, we see which high school do you work at? We want to populate the range. We're going to have to go select it. We have to start the process all over again. Of course, it's on the same workbook that we have. San Diego Unified School District Schools 2024-2025. We'll just double click on it to select it. And then, of course, we have one worksheet called K-12 schools, but we do have 3 different headers. Now, it could be that this particular workbook has 3 different worksheets, each one. So one's for elementary, the next worksheet's for middle school, And then the final worksheet would be high schools. But in this case, we just have a single worksheet, the K-12 one. It has multiple columns on them, and it allows us to be able to go select whichever one we want. In this case, we want the high schools. So I select there one time, and I'll just say next. Did that instead of double clicking. Then I'll just say current high schools. All right, that sounds good. And boom, boom, bada bang. A couple of seconds. And sure enough, we have this third one populated with all of the high schools, all the way down to University City, beginning with Canyon Hills. So now we're going to go up here. We're going to go to preview mode. It's going to open up a new tab. And so we see our examples here. Drop-down list of schools using Form Ranger. This is an example of a drop-down list imported from the Google Sheet using the add-on Form Ranger. Which elementary school do you work at? Well, there's a lot of them. We can pick one. I will pick, how about Foster? And the next question, which middle school do you work at? There's a lot of them again, but since we imported it, it went very quickly. We'll say John Muir Language Academy. That sounds good. And which high school do you work at? Again, there's quite a few, but we imported it, so it made it easy. And I'll just say La Jolla High School because I like to go to the beach. And so there you have it. We just created this Google form, and we imported all of the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools from a spreadsheet that I already had set up somewhere. And to do that, all I had to do was use our add-on called Form Ranger. So hopefully that answers all of your questions on how to use Form Ranger, how to import, in this case, drop-down list from a spreadsheet. All right, thank you for joining us for this tips and tricks videos, and we will see you next time.